Denise, guess what?
What, Xavi?
We got chismes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of We Got Chisme. I'm Denise. This is Subisito. And happy Wednesday. The middle of the week. We will always love that because, it's almost Friday. It's closer than Monday.
Almost there.
Yeah. So for this story, or for the stories for today, we have an interesting topic about evictions.
About what?
Evictions.
Okay.
Evicting people. Out. Get out.
Good. All right. Got you. So what's today's title for this?
The title is Evicted and Exposed. It's all because of Xavi.
What do you mean because of me, bitch?
Because you had a personal story that you wanted to share, remember?
Did I?
Yeah? You said, make an episode like this so I can share my story.
If I recall correctly, I say that would be interesting to make a story about that. An episode about that.
Okay. So, we cannot just say that. So, Xavi went through something. And he did not experience eviction, but he experienced what it feels like having to evict someone. So this is why we are going to do this episode.
In other words, people, we just got inspired by an incident that I have to make fun of it and just bring it up to you guys. That's all.
Yeah, which is why I think Xavi should do an Am I the Asshole story.
Trust me, I'm not the one who needs to do the story. Who needs to write it up is somebody else.
Anyway, let's read the first story. So our story number 1 comes from the subreddit Am I the Asshole, AITAH. And it says, Am I the asshole for evicting my girlfriend of 3 years? I am 33. I received an inheritance when I was 24 and used it to buy a condo in downtown Vancouver, a short walk away from where I work. Stephanie is 28. We started dating 3 years ago and she has been living here for the last 2 years. As I own the place outright, I do not charge her rent. I also make so much more, so I pay for pretty much everything else too. Saturday morning, about a month ago, she told me she was going to a family dinner. Her parents live about an hour drive away. In the time we have been together, I have gone with her to family dinner about 30 to 40 times over the 3 years. But this time I was not invited. She told me they were having a family meeting to discuss what to do with Grandma, who was showing signs of dementia. Her brother and aunt from out of town were coming too. I own a car and she wanted to borrow it. So she leaves in the afternoon. Around 10 p.m., I get a text that she had a few glasses of wine with her mom and is going to spend the night. Her brother and aunt from out of town were coming too and own a car and she wanted to borrow it. So she leaves in the afternoon. Around 10 p.m., I get a text that she had a few glasses of wine with her mom and is going to spend the night. Next morning, around 10 a.m., she's still not home. She's not answering my calls or looking at my text. So I call her mom, who tells me she's not there and there was no family dinner. So what really happened?
Oh my gosh.
Around noon, someone is buzzing me from the entrance of the building. It's her. I buzz her in. First thing she tells me is she lost her keys, which included the fob to enter the building, the key to my apartment, and the key to my car. She also does not know where my car is. Turns out she went clubbing with a friend. They met a group of 3 guys and decided to go home with them. Stephanie was drunk, so she allowed one of the 3 guys to be the driver of my new car. When they arrived at one of their places, my car was parked in a no parking area and later towed. It was parked in a bus stop in downtown Vancouver. Stephanie believes she did nothing wrong and she did not park the car. She also says that she did not have sex with any of the guys, just her friend did, and she was just there to make sure her friend was safe. She does not even know the name of the guy that has the keys or how to contact him. That she had no choice but to lie to me because I do not like going to clubs. Was I wrong for evicting her? Her entire family thinks I am.
Fuck nah.
She deserved that.
Like, if you are in problem, why don't you call him and tell him the situation so he can go and pick you up in the freaking car, take you home, and your friend. Simple solution. But you wanted to go the wild ride, the excitement of the unknown gentlemen's, and you went there to make sure your friend was safe. Were you watching her when she was chaka?
Apparently.
To make sure she was safe?
Mm-hmm. With the three guys.
With the three guys. Like, yeah, girl, out, bye. No.
Sayonara. Goodbye. It was nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
But I understand. Remember, she always would tell the family what's more convenience for her and from her side of the story, so they will be more sympathetic for her.
A few things, a few details.
The most important one, most likely. But,
yeah.
So do we have any update on this?
We have some edits. Non-official update, but some edits.
Okay.
It says, edit 1 seems to be some confusing in the replies. Yes, she was also done. Not just evicted. Yes, I am aware it's unlikely she sat in the living room overnight while only her friend had sex with these guys.
Well,
I think it's some day. Okay, let's see what the comments are saying before I read that. Oh yeah, because the first comment says, are you kidding? No, the asshole. Lying to you to get wasted with random people at the club, so much so that she had no idea where your car was. Does she respect you at all? And if you believe all her friends were having sex and she was just sitting there, I'm sorry, but highly doubtful. And lastly, to see nothing wrong with all of this, that's almost the biggest issue. She sounds like a train wreck. Her and her family are only bombing because she cannot freeload anymore.
She cannot freeload anymore.
And people is like, she's using him. And then somebody else, she used him.
Past tense.
Past tense. And now everybody's saying like he should get an STD test, which is true. Yeah. So edit number 2, he says, yes, I got the car back. Obviously, it's a new car. I am not donating it to a tow company. Called the police and they told me the number of the towing company. Pick it up an hour later. Police also confirmed this will not be considered a stolen car. Her fob to the building was simply deactivated and not replaced. I have 3 fobs now instead of 4. Door lock to my unit was replaced for free by my building. All locks must be matching on each door and they had a supply of replacements. Car rekeying is in progress and not cheap. The last edit. It was slightly less than 2 years she lived here, probably closer to 20 months. So she's not entitled to any of my home equity. According to my government issue assessment value of my place, it went down last year as well. Yes, she paid for the tow, did so without me even asking. We went to get the car, she paid. She paid. I have received a parking ticket in the mail that I paid. Oh, he got a parking ticket in the mail that he paid, but she will pay him for that. Okay, good.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, because she paid for the tow and she paid for the parking ticket as well.
Okay.
So she has agreed to pay for the car rekeying. Okay, good. That is why it has not been done yet, as it is very expensive. Stephanie and her friend have been trying to find the keys. I really do not think they knew these guys prior or have any contact with them.
Yeah,
the fact
at
that he had to
least
spend all that time and money to do that,
no, but
paying for it.
at least she gives pay some of that.
Yeah,
So other people would be like, "Fuck this! You already left me. You deal with it."
yeah,
So it's definitely. I guess she's one of those cats when you leave them the door open, they just go like panther mode, like
yeah.
go wiring hunting in the outside. But honestly, not the asshole. Well done. Your safety is first, and
Hmm.
whatever else comes after. Um, your sanity, especially your new car. And what she did, unfortunately, it's really hard to believe.
Yep.
Like their family that believe her. Uh, but
I mean, I'm pretty sure she changed the story and she lied to the family. She probably went with it. My friend wanted to go and I didn't want to risk it, so I went there.
no, she
And I
said,
was
I
not
stay
gonna
at my
find
friend's
out.
house and we park in the wrong parking spot. And because of that, he's evicting me.
She's lying and
Yeah.
lying through her teeth.
But that's how you know. That's how you know she's not the one and you get a free ride because you touched the bullet.
Wow. Yeah,
Well done, eviction. Good job.
well done. Do not let her use you and get tested, please, because I don't think
Mm.
this is the first time she cheated on you, but
You never
guy,
know.
you never know. Go with
It
that.
better be safe than sorry.
100%. So, moving on to story number two.
Number
Story
two.
two comes from the subreddit Best of Redditor Updates,
Mm-hmm.
and the title is Houseguest had a deadbolt installed after being reminded that he will have to leave soon. To be clear, this is not New York City.
Okay.
They're like, because I think they say they added first like a question. They're like, house guest had a deadbolt installed after being reminded that he will have to leave soon. Questions about the situation in general, but specifically the locksmith's liability here. In parentheses, it says New York State. So now it says, to be clear, this is not New York City. Wife and I let an old friend of hers who is going through a hard time stay with us for a while. When reminded that he would have to move on soon, he made a pass at my wife and flip out on her when she declined his advances.
Sounds
He then,
familiar.
yeah, he then had a locksmith install a deadbolt on the door, despite not presenting them with a lease or deed to show that he has a right to get locks installed. Now what? There's like questions at the bottom. A childhood friend of my bed. Oh no. What is that? Oh, that was like a summary thingy. Okay. Okay, again. A childhood friend of my wife's, called him Pete, moved back to the area after the death of a parent and losing his job. We offered to let him crash in our spare bedroom for a month or so while he gets things figured out. Pete moved in on 3/28, and we had him sign something that said that he will split on 6/30, whether he had his shit sorted out or not. Okay, they gave him 3 months.
Okay.
This was partially to put a hard limit on the amount of time he'd be living with us, but primarily because my brother is going to spend about 6 weeks in town for work, starting in mid-July and will be staying with us. Pete did not seem to be in much of a rush to find a new job, let alone find his own place, but he is in a bit of a funk due to the whole situation. So we've been giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Big
On,
mistake.
yeah. On 6/1, my wife reminded Pete of the fact that he had to go by the end of the month. He said not to worry and that he'd definitely have something figured out by then. She gave him the same reminder this Wednesday, 6/12. I will spare you the details, but this time Pete countered by confessing that he had always been in love with her and that she should leave me and I could find a new place while they stay in the apartment. Which is sort of funny because while I consider this to be her apartment as much as mine, I purchased it before we met and her name is not on anything. Anyway, she obviously shut this down immediately, and Pete did not respond well. At all, no violence, but a ton of shouting, insulting, attempting to guilt trip. It was intense enough that my wife just got out to her mother's place. I'm guessing that she left to her mother's place, where she called me to fill me in on the situation. I went home from work and told Pete that we are gonna stick to the agreement despite his behavior, but the sooner he was out the bed, the better. I spoke to my wife later that evening and we decided till Pete fucks off, she will stay in an investment property of mine that is luckily vacant right now. But I am going to start working remotely and stay at the apartment more or less 24/7. Both to make sure Pete does not do anything stupid and because my presence in the living room will hopefully be more than a little awkward for him. So this morning and around 6, I left to run to the office and grab some stuff and I will need while working from home. I got back to the apartment about half an hour ago, and as I stepped out of the elevator, I saw a guy with a toolbox leaving my apartment and immediately noticed that a new deadbolt had been installed in the door. I tried to explain the situation to the locksmith, but he basically told me that the lock is already in and he gave the only key to the guy in the apartment. So it's between the two of us now. Lovely. I asked him for a card and he said he did not have any, so I asked where he works. He told me that it's not any of my business and reiterated that this is between me and Pete. I followed him downstairs and luckily he was in a van that had a sticker of the company's name and info on the side. I called the number, asked to speak with the boss, and told him what happened. He more or less did his best to not answer any of my questions. I'm sorry, but I do not have to inform you of our policies. Fun. So this is where I am at now. I called the police just to get a report filed, but I'm 100% sure that when the officers show up, they're going to tell me that it's a civil issue. I am not expecting them anytime soon, as this is a pretty small potatoes deal in the city where the whole thing is taking place. I was actually all set to offer Pete cash for Key's deal if he was not getting his shit in gear by 6:23. But I have a feeling that I'm going to have to evict now. I own a few investment properties and have gone through the eviction process before, so I know that it will not be a fun process given how tenant friendly my estate is, but it is what it is. We got the vacant rental property to stay in while everything gets sorted out, so that's covered as well. My only questions now are about who I can go after for the what. My only questions now are about who I can go after for what. Like if he can do a lawsuit against
The law
the
company.
locksmith company for allowing him to do that, or him, I guess. I don't know. So then he says, on that note, here are my questions. I am going to lose money on the rental that my wife and I will be staying in while the eviction gets handled. In fact, I have already done so, as I had just started advertising it and will now have to pull the listings on a few sites / drop a sorry bot on anyone who responds to print ads that I place. Is this something I can sue for? In my mind, I had take both Pete and the locksmith company in a suit and let the judge decide who owes me what. But since I am making the decision for us to occupy the space, do I technically have damages? When I got a deadbolt installed at my old rental, I had to show the locksmith a copy of my lease before they even touched the door. Was that just a company policy they were following, or is that mandated by law? If the latter, is there anything I can go after after them for? I don't care if it's trying to get criminal charges pressed or just going the civil route. I am not hurting for money, so frankly, if I were to sue, it would be more about taking the pound of flesh that I feel I am entitled to after they lock me out of my own home. But I have been just as happy seeing the pound of flesh extracted in a manner that does not end with me in possession of it. Anything else that I should be thinking about in this situation? I am planning on asking the police to do a civil standby or whatever it's called so I can get a few important things out of the apartment. I am a little flustered and pissed off right now, to say the least. So I just want to make sure that there is not anything I should be considering beyond that. Thanks in advance, and the cops are actually pulling up now, so I might have an update shortly.
Did he provide an update shortly after?
I don't know, I want to read some comments first.
Okay.
What would you advise him?
I will break the fucking door. It would be cheaper to replace the door and then kick his ass out.
That's a good idea.
You know, you change the lock, good for you, when breaking the door, so it's not, you
It's
know,
not my door.
my freaking door, bought the place, so
I have the lease. I can call the fire department, tell them, hey, I think there is a gas leak inside and I cannot get in.
that's true. That's true. That's true. But that's really messed up. But New York City, unfortunately, have the rule if you have a friendly visitor that wants to stay longer, if they stay for more than a month, you cannot kick them out. You have to go through the whole eviction process, and that's a very long progress,
And if you have a contract like he does,
even if you have a contract. You still have to follow the same process. You have to report it to court. You have to show up for court. Like it's like 3 months turnaround thing. And then if the person doesn't comply or don't pay anything, because those people usually don't pay the rent, and the establishment end to kicking them out anyways, but they don't give a damn because by the time that they kick them out, they're already crashing somebody else's place. And
yeah,
they go from place to place like that.
that's true.
So,
Oh,
but
God.
that's what I said. Like it would be easier just to break the freaking door and don't and just kick him out. If the police comes in, they will not do anything to him.
No, that's our
Yeah.
figure. Somebody said, the top comment says, I'm confused. Was the deadbolt on the front door to the apartment or was it just his room? And then he says front door. And they're like, oh, try and press charges for an illegal lockout easier than to evict him while he's in jail. Oh, yeah, somebody else says what you say. He was there more than 30 days. You're going to need to evict him if he is an ass and chooses not to leave. Him trying to lock you out was idiotic on his part. Document it and it will help you. Most states do not have laws requiring locksmiths to obtain a specific proof. Most reputable companies will always ask for it. So you can take them to court. However, your tenant may have provided them sooner proof of residency, like his driver license or some type of bill. You can most likely only sue them for losses caused by their action, which you will have to document. If you reside there, I wouldn't leave you. If you reside there, I wouldn't leave you have us. I have no idea what they're saying. You have just as much right to live there. It is your primary residence. Provide proof of residence and have the police force him to let you enter and give you a key to the locks he had changed. But yeah. Let's see the edits. So edit 1 says, just heard from the owner of the locksmith who sounded about as pissed off as I am. He's sending a guy over with a new deadbolt and a few extra keys.
Oh,
Apparently,
now he's pissed.
no, because he was talking to like a manager, like a boss. Now he's talking to like the owner of the locksmith company. He's talking to the owner apparently, who sound pissed. Because before he said that,
Because before the other person didn't give him any answer, the manager that he
no,
was speaking with, and he's just giving the runaround pretty much.
exactly. So I don't know. Let's see. So they talked to the owner and they were gonna sending a guy over with a new deadbolt and a few extra keys. Apparently, he's already arranged for his dude to show up with some cops in case Pete is not a fan of the lock being changed. Bonus, in explaining that part to me, I got to hear somebody say, I know a guy who knows a guy in real life. And now I want
What
to hang
the?
out with this dude. Huh?
Just repeat that one more time, please.
Okay, so apparently this is the whole thing about the owner of the locksmith, right?
Uh-huh.
The owner of the locksmith already arranged for his dude to show up with some cops. Like the dude that is gonna put a new
Change the
deadbolt.
lock. We'll have some backup in case that he get feisty. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. So bonus, in explaining the part to me, like when the owner was explaining to him, he got to hear somebody say, I know a guy who knows a guy in real life. And now I want to hang out with this dude. Like he's the type of guy that knows a bunch of guys to do things. So edit 2. Mother-in-law took the wife out to get her mind off of this stuff, and now she's being returned to me, so I'm gonna stop staring at the internet. The locksmith will be here around 8 p.m., And Pete's brother is going to swing through around the same time to see if he can talk some sense into him. Thanks for all of the advice and well wishes. I will try to update again tonight if anything interesting happens, but at this point it will most likely be tomorrow or Sunday. And this was 6 years ago.
Oh.
Let's see if we have another update. Ooh, we do.
That sounds
I
juicy.
didn't see this. I didn't read this.
Okay, even better.
Yeah. It says, so I got a call while I was getting ready to head back to the apartment to meet the locksmith. It was Pete's brother. Apologies for the lack of details here, but I do not know too much about exactly what went down. And a chunk of what I do know is personal shit, so that the brother just did me an enormous favor. Probably will not want me sharing it. Anyway, the gist of the phone call was that he went by and performed a third party constructive eviction with the back of his hand. So Pete's gone. Like, he cannot say details. That's why he's saying that he went by and he took his brother out. It's like Pete's gone, as it is most of his stuff. His brother is going to swing by next week to grab any odds and ends that they have missed, like they probably miss. I am planning on making him dinner and hitting him off with a bottle of good whiskey when he does so. As far as Pete goes, I'm thinking that I will follow through with at least the early part of the eviction process, just in case he tries anything cute. Gonna speak to my attorney about this first, but he's still in the wind. Turns out he's staying at a cabin his girlfriend's family owns, and it's pretty much as close to being in the middle of nowhere as human-built structures get. His admin slash paralegal, I don't know what she is specifically, but she said that yesterday was the one day he was not going into town for cell service. This gives us the opportunity to convince him that the situation is currently way worse than it ever was. And as much as I love this guy, he's really fun to fuck with, so that's cool. I have no idea what they're talking about.
I'm like,
This guy is so confusing. He's like, gonna speak to my attorney about this first, but he's still in the wind. Turns out he's staying as a cabin with his girlfriend's family owns, and it's pretty much as close to being in the middle of nowhere as human-built structures get. His admin or paralegal. Oh, okay. So the attorney's paralegal say that yesterday was the one day he was not going into town for cell service. So this gives us the opportunity to convince him that the situation is currently way worse than it ever was. And as much as I love this guy, he's really fun to fuck with. So that's cool. Okay, so he's just fucking with his lawyer because he doesn't have cell service and doesn't know exactly what's happening.
that throw
Dude,
me
you're a
off a
little bit
little bit.
weird, but okay.
Yeah, that throw me off completely. I'm like, what? Are we talking the same thing still?
Yeah. He's like, after speaking with my lawyer, I called the owner of the locksmith to let him know that the apartment was vacant, so his guy will not need to show up with the police. Turns out he was planning on coming by to handle it himself. So that was easy enough. I met him over there. He had a handful of deadbolts for me to choose from, and he switched out the lock in about 5 minutes. We got to bullshitting about baseball because that's what you do in New York. And this led to him accepting my offer to buy him a beer so we could watch the White Sox smack our Yankees around. I got some backstory at the bar, and while this is a second-hand information, the dude seems pretty reliable, so I've got no reason not to believe him. The guy who came over yesterday morning was indeed an employee of his, but he was not on the clock and actually borrowed the deadbolt without mentioning anything.
Oh.
Turns out he's an old friend of Pete's and had been fed a story about an insane landlord who had decided to move into the apartment Pete was renting. Brilliant. Anyway, my new locksmith buddy told me that his guy was officially unemployed as of that afternoon. I have felt bad for the dude, but I'm too busy not caring about his motivations because it was due to a complete and total lack of any attempt to verify the story he'd been fed. This also explains that the non answers a guy when I called the shop. The person I spoke to was a manager who had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. He was basically trying to buy some time to speak with the owner and the guy who installed the deadbolt instead of just pulling an excuse out of his ass for me. I wish he had told me that in the first place, but I do appreciate the fact that he did not just try to go into CYA mode for the company or now former coworker.
I
All in
mean,
all, I have a new preferred locksmith for when I need something done at any of my properties.
I mean, uh, a simple, let me follow up with this and get back to you who made it.
Right, I know.
Like you have to give him the run around. Just look, I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna speak with the boss, and I'm gonna get back to you
And
as
then
soon
I'm
as I
gonna get
can.
back to you. Let me figure out the situation. And that's
That's
it.
it. I'm like, my God.
Crazy. Anyway, at the end, he says, so really the only legal shit left is a restraining order. And Pete very kindly sent my wife a few emails last night upon figuring out that she had blocked his number. Not
Mm,
gonna know into detail, but I will just say that the context should make the restraining order easy to get. So this Pete is doubling down.
Well, it's gonna doubling down with the restraining. I
Yep,
see
yep,
how you
yep,
like
yep.
that, Pete.
Yeah, he's like, my wife went from upset. Um, Wait, no, she said, thank you for all the help and well wishes, but it seems like this is more or less of a wrap and pretty amusing one too. My wife gone from upset about the whole thing to uncharacteristically indignant, which she admitted is kind of cathartic for her. So I do not even have a reason to feel guilty about laughing about what a moron Pit is. Amazing.
Great, well deserved. Honestly, that's very nicely done. And now that you know,
Audacity.
um, so long story short, for what Denise was referring to, the first part of the story was pretty much like we let a friend to stay with us for a few months, just like happened with Pete. Um, as his girlfriend has kicked him out of the house because she didn't want to be with him no more. So we, as a good friends, we let the dude stay in our vacant space that we have here for 3 months, like the same thing as Pete, essentially. So the dude moves in like at the beginning of the year. I will let him know, like, hey, you have 3 months, 3 months, no more, no less. It's just for you to get your foot on the floor, say, make some savings, and then get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
So, first month, everything went by fine. No problem, getting along. We barely noticing the guys here or not. Second month, things start getting interesting. Uh, the friends start bringing
He got a new girlfriend.
a girlfriend, without letting us know. So we find out the most interesting way. Sometimes I work from home.
Mm.
So, unfortunately, that was my office. His room that he was saying was my office. So I have seated my office, and I usually establish everything on my dining table where I'm at right now. Um, so imagine yourself working at 12 in the afternoon, believing that you are by yourself, and out of the blue, seeing a lady just popping up out of the blue.
Just
So
like, what?
I know that was infuriating. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Um, so after that, I told Paolo texting, they say like, I'm sorry, I have a friend, she stay over. And we explained to him like, no, no bueno. Long story short, after that, after the first advisement, continue doing it again, again, a whole week passed by, and we continue seeing the same face. As the repeated advisement has been provided, the kid continue doing the same thing. So, you know,
You told him to leave.
with your kindness, you with the kindness of your heart, you're trying to do something good for others, but others trying to take advantage of you. So, that's just gets it to a certain extent. And like, come on, it's just being like a month and a half, not even 2 months. So after we providing him like final notice, like that's it, no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So that was on a Wednesday. Thursday, she left on a Wednesday. Thursday, fine. Friday, fine. Saturday, So, and the funny things is like trying to be smart and bringing like very late at night, like around like 11ish, almost 12.
When
But
you're sleeping, trying to sneak her in.
it's okay, but we were awake.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you have a dog.
and I have a dog that loves to bark to people that she's not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the girl comes and pop up and say, "Good evening," and go straight to the room. So at the moment, Paolo like call him out in front of her and told him like, what are you, what is this? I already speak with you. So requested to leave. To the girl, they do says like, oh, it's too late. She lives far. She don't want to be in this far. Okay, fine. First thing in the morning, she needs to be gone. Next day, we wake up like around 10ish, almost 10 o'clock, more or less. It was 9:30ish. Uh, Still here. So that's when things went down, and I'm more of a passive person, even though I talk a lot of shit. Um, but he got pretty upset. It was like, we going on lunch? I mean, breakfast. As soon as I return, she's gone. You gotta be gone, and I want the house empty. So when we return, they were gone, but his stuff continued still here. So that's when wonderful Paolo had the idea. Let me help him out. Grab off his shit, packing it up in garbage bag, throwing on top of the on top of the car of his girlfriend, which I don't know how he knows that it was that car, but whatever. So long story short, we while he was away, I guess having breakfast with his girlfriend, we just disposed of most of his stuff outside, and we took matters in our own hand, unfortunately, because you try to help somebody else and they try to take advantage of you, not listening and respecting your place. Going, you have no right to go above anything because have no fucking right. So, if we noticed there were a few things still in the drawer, so we emptied it out. And by then,
Mm-hmm.
we heard the door knocking. The dude was angry. So I'm like, oh, wait, you're missing a few stuff. And we just throw it out of the window because we live in a townhouse. So in the second floor is our house. So that looks very epic because we were just taking the garbage bag full of his stuff and like, grab it.
I mean, it's very dangerous that you just tell him to leave and he doesn't because he fully expects an eviction notice. And
No,
well,
what
then
it
they'll do
could
like that.
happen is that what this guy did, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I don't know how the Florida law is, but if he does that, we own this place. And if he does that, I don't know what we would be able to do, you know?
Live with him until the eviction notice force him out. Don't live with that terror. Because I've read cases of people having to live with these kind of people until they're finally judge orders them to leave.
Yeah. So, yeah, it sucks to drop someone and just leave it in the figure out on your own, but sometimes people
Oh, well,
actually
they take advantage of you.
have
So
earned that. They earned it. So,
respect them more and be more grateful
and
of the help.
yeah, and because of that happening, I believe like what happens to him was most likely like, his ex was probably just kicking him out and he kept like not taking it seriously and probably the same thing happened.
Mm-hmm, probably.
So it's sad, but at the end of the time, at the end of the day, it shows you like even though you're trying to be a good person and trying to help others, unfortunately sometimes it backfire.
Unfortunately, yes.
And some people for more that appears to be kind and nice. So, after a little bit people start showing the true colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, 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 yeah. So I can relate with situation that they have with Pete. I didn't have that scare, but still it's kind of like what if retaliates
Uh,
or trying to do something stupid or stuff like that.
yeah, of course,
So
it's your
it's
home. It's your
it's
supposed to be your safe place.
exactly. So
And then like,
it builds a lot of uncertainty for you know you're trying to be nice and they just like they say in this movie like they fuck you
okay.
and not in a nice way.
Not in a nice.
So is leave you thinking like it's you cannot do good to others because they take
Leave the
advantage.
bad taste.
Yeah. So if you give the hand, they take your whole body.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah. So
So
let's move on to story number three, I believe.
I think that we should count your story as number three.
Okay, so let's move on to story number four then.
Yeah, because otherwise this is gonna be way longer than usual.
Okay, so let's go to
um,
story number four.
so
In my title of my story was the asshole that brings
on one that visitors and
no
violates the lease.
no, I was be like the asshole that brings the garbage back alone.
Oh, savage! I think Savage is getting hungry again. By the way, last week he was very mean because he was hungry, apparently. So we have to start making him eat before the episode so he doesn't call the people. Do you understand how computers are slow? That's how you are. Sometimes you cannot process.
But she enjoyed that though. Look at how much she's laughing today about it.
Yeah, if I were on the other end, I would have been crying.
Yeah,
Anyway, so I'm gonna give you the two options that I have,
okay,
and you tell me which one you want to read.
go
So,
ahead.
number one is roommate's girlfriend tried getting me evicted. I got her dumped. And option number two is, am I the asshole for evicting my brother and his family for insulting my husband, causing them to be homeless?
I like that one.
You like this one? Okay.
Wait. What's the title of the first one again?
The first one was roommate's girlfriend tried getting me evicted, so I got her dumped. And then the second one was,
I
am
like
I
the
the
other one. It
asshole
sounds
for
more
evicting
dramatic
my
with the
brother?
family.
The family one?
Yeah.
The second one? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Is that
So,
longer?
no, the longer was the other one.
I knew it.
You're choosing the shorter one?
No,
Wow.
but actually, it would be more interesting to see like the right family
Yeah,
than
but
anybody else.
anyway, it's a safe option because we don't want Sabe to get hungry, like we say. So no, story number four that comes from the subreddit "Am I the asshole?" And the
Mhm.
title says, "Am I the asshole for evicting my brother and his family for insulting my husband, causing them to be homeless?" I, 34 male, grew up in a very conservative household. My parents and my older brother Max, 38 male, all hold extreme bigoted, I'm guessing bigoted, I don't know, hold extreme views. I'm gay, so that was hard on me growing up. In my 20s, my grandpa died and left me a large chunk of inheritance. It was enough to put down a down payment on a house in another country. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not country, another county. So I decided I no longer wanted to be associated with my family. So I came out to them right before I moved away. They reacted horribly, saying that I was going to rot in hell and that I was dead to them. Fine with me. I moved and we have not spoken in years. Since I moved, I landed a great job and met the love of my life, my husband Jonah, 35 male. However, this is where the problem arises. A month ago, I got a message from Max. He apologized for what he said when I came out and said he wanted to reconnect. But he then told me that he had lost his job and his family, his wife Danny, and their two kids were about to be evicted.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
he
he
asked
wants to
if they would
reconnect because it's
exactly.
convenient for him. Mother flower.
So he asked if they would be able to stay with me for a few months until they got back on their feet. He also said that he would have asked to stay at my parents' place, but they recently moved to an assisted living facility.
So not an option.
No. My first instinct was to say no. But then when I told Jonah, he said that we should give them a chance because Max could have changed and he does not want the kids to be homeless. I finally agree and message Max that I will help him on the few conditions. One, under no circumstances is he allowed to bring up politics or mention his political opinions. Two, under no circumstances he's allowed to disrespect me, my husband, or our home. I told Max that if they break the rules, he and his family will be out. Zero tolerance. He agreed, and they came to stay a few weeks ago. Jonah works from home, so I told him to tell me if Max ever said or did anything that broke the rules. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. But a few days ago, Jonah called me crying while I was at work, saying that he told Max to clean up after his kids because they were making a mess. Max did not want to, so he started an argument. It culminated in Max screaming that he did not want a fuck telling him what to do. I was furious. When I got home, I told Max and his family that I had 2 days to pack and get out. He started arguing with me and said Jonah was lying, but I know Jonah will never lie about something like that. But when he saw that I was serious, he said I was a terrible person for making his kids homeless. But I say he did this to himself. Danny then stepped in and apologized for Max, which confirms he said it, and begged me to give them another chance. But I say zero tolerance means zero tolerance. They did not start packing until I threatened to call the police. I gave them the address for a homeless shelter and they left. But they keep texting asking to come back, saying their kids are suffering. Even some of my cousins are getting involved and are saying it's cruel to punish children for the parents' mistake. Am
And
I the asshole here?
why did the cousin take them in then into
There's
their
an
family?
edit. It says edit. Lots of people are asking why they cannot just live with my cousins. My cousins live all the way across the country, so according to them, it's more practical for Max and his family to live with me. Nah, bitch, they can move. It's okay. Help them. You want to help them so bad? Help
Buy
them.
them the tickets. They have these trans country bus or trains. Figure it out.
You want to
Their
help them so
convenience
bad?
is
Do it.
not his main concern. They need a roof to sleep in and to live. So wherever they can be provided,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's so easy to be like, blah, 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 blah. You have done this and that and that. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it?
period.
Period. Yep. Top comment says, not the asshole. You did not make them homeless. Max did. Your rules were clear and very reasonable. He broke them. You do not have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I like that. Ah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, I want to see if there is any comments from OP, but I don't see any, and I don't see any updates either. This was 2 years ago.
Well, he did brilliantly, honestly, because that's the way. And thankfully, the brother didn't know the rules about,
Mm-hmm.
the eviction things, because the cops would not kick them out. Oh, by the way, on my
Yep.
story, the cops did come here just to make sure that all his stuff was out. But in this event was different because we already have kicked him out.
Which is
But he's
amazing.
still in the
Thankfully.
house. Yes, but if the guy is still in the house, then the cops wouldn't have no authority to take him out because it's no rule breaking at
Yeah.
this moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we learn every day a little something new.
Which means do not be that nice anymore.
I know, I know, I know.
Sadly.
So, well, this guy did one beautifully, especially not um stepping back for the stuff that he's set up.
Mm-hmm.
And people are very disconsiderate because you just reconnecting with your brother. He is offering you a place to stay, and you are disrespecting the other owner where they're allowing you to stay. Like, why? Why?
And not just that, but the word that he called him is basically like calling his brother that. You're disrespecting them both. And that was one of the rules that they
That was the
set,
main rule.
the main rule, not disrespecting. And he didn't. So it means he has no respect for you, your house, or anything. Why should you have any respect for him?
Why you should be feeling bad that his kids is at the
That's
end
his
of the
own
day,
fault. If
at
he
the end
cared
of the
about the
day,
kids, he wouldn't have done that.
his kids are in the situation because of him. If they have to blame anybody, they can blame Tata.
Why was he fired? Why?
Tata.
Maybe he did a similar comment at work?
Or maybe worse. Who
What?
knows? Anyhow, so guys, we hope you guys enjoyed this story as much as we did. I didn't
Yes.
enjoy the event though, but you know, talking after that, it's kind of like, yeah, but still happy. Like, doesn't leave you with the energy nor the will to help nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nobody, unless it's, you know, now that we know this rule over a month, make sure they stay 3 weeks max. So that way you can keep them out without any inconveniences.
Bye bye.
Um, but yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this, and we honestly hope that you haven't go through something like this because it's really uncomfortable. But if you have and you want to share a story, we are here and ready to hear and read it.
We also have a subreddit. If you go to Reddit and look for We Got Chisme, we have a subreddit where you can leave your story there anonymously.
We are be looking out for those. So in the meantime, you know, it's Wednesday. Let's just get through this week. We hopefully this story make you to your day to go a little bit easier. And just have in mind, just 2 days until Friday. Yeah,
Yay!
we should have 3 days weekend. But
No.
anyhow, we don't live in the perfect world. And we will see you next time. And next Wednesday at the same time, 4 a.m.
Bye.
Bye.